Good day.
Good day, sir. Today, Haig, my dear brother, what are we going to talk about?
Well, right now I have a fine cigar in my hand. Yes,
Well,
what seems to be a cigarillo.
yeah, not a cigar like you because unfortunately I don't have my taste currently because I don't know, I have some weird allergies still. I don't want to smoke a fat cigar, so I'm going to smoke a Toscanelli like Clint Eastwood. Did he actually smoke these, or is that something I just think in my head?
Well, they say he did, but they're not as tapered as the ones we have these days, so I'm not sure.
Speaking of Clint Eastwood, he's rugged. He's a man's man, right?
He is. Can't deny that.
Like me. I'm Clint Eastwood. And all my haters, Haig, what are they? They're Clit Eastwood. See what I did?
That was a lame joke.
All right, so we're going to talk about the male loneliness epidemic. You're smiling. You know that's funny as shit.
I didn't laugh once. There's a microphone around me right now. They could hear that.
Yeah, but you're smiling. You're trying to hold a laughing like you're trying to
No,
hold
I'm
a coughing.
smiling at how lame your joke was.
So we're going to talk about the male loneliness epidemic, Haig. And there's actually a lot to unpack here. I have a certain belief on this. But it does exist. Wouldn't you say so?
I definitely would. It's definitely a real thing.
And a lot of people blame the women on this, which I completely disagree. I blame both genders on this.
Both genders? What about the third one?
We're not going there, Haig, remember? We're not going there. We're not going to blame the third and fourth gender. Listen, if you heard that, you know the type of people we are. So if you don't like me, get off the channel. And if you do, let's continue.
What?
So, the male loneliness epidemic. A lot of these, red pill people, they blame women. Yes, trust me. IG completely cooked women. But what would happen if males withdrew their attention? All these simps that are following all these random models, giving them likes, giving them money on these platforms. You know which ones I'm talking about. What happens if they all withdrew their attention? Would it exist? No. So I think the men are bringing this upon themselves. And of course, there are men in this world that catch themselves in the middle of this shit, right? Like they're eating shit because of the actions of these absolutely retarded men. So basically what I mean is they're seeing these women lose their minds. They're going crazy for IG likes. They're going on OF and all these platforms. They're just being hoes.
We have to give them context as to why this is happening now and it wasn't happening, let's say, 30 or 40 years ago.
The internet.
It's simply because 30 or 40 years ago, there was a neighborhood. There were men and women within that neighborhood. And women were typically either in their house, right? They didn't work jobs as much as they do now. But some of them did have jobs as well. But in that job, they made a few $1,000s a month at best. And the options they had were whatever was in their neighborhood. The kind of men that were in their neighborhood. And that was it.
Also, no, it's not just that, bro. I would argue. There was also something called shame in the world. I grew up, I'm from Lebanon, right? We grew up with like culturally Lebanese, and we're Armenian. So there's something called shame, which doesn't exist in the modern world today. There's no shame. For example, I was dating this white girl one time, and she invited me over to her house to meet her parents. And the first time I met her parents, she literally just sat on my lap in front of her dad. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing in my head, right? Because I grew up with Middle Eastern values. That doesn't mean, I'm like some good kid, no girl. Like, I just grew up with like respect. So if I'm meeting someone's dad, I'm going to say, I'm going to be respectful at first. Of course. Always respectful towards the dad. And she just sat on my lap in front of her dad. This is the first time I'm meeting her dad. Her dad didn't give a shit. How crazy was that, bro?
Unfathomable.
So I'm just there like, what the fuck? We're in a fatherless society, and when there are fathers, they're basically cucks. So, in my opinion, if you're doing that in front of your dad, you don't respect your dad. So how are you going to end up eventually respecting me? You're not going to. And this is what happens, right? So the males have been cucked. The internet did this. And I I just don't even know where to start because there's actually so many intricacies to why the world is like this today.
There
Also,
is.
yeah,
But I would say the main one is like, this is continuing on my point, is that the barrier to entry for being a hoe is so much lower. There's no resistance if you want to become a hoe. It's the easiest thing in the world. Back then, if you wanted to pull something like that off, you have to deal with all the shame, like you said, that comes with it. You have to use your salary to buy a ticket to wherever you wanted to go to find that kind of man, to extract resources from him. There's a higher barrier to entry of being a hoe. Now, you just open an Instagram account, post some pictures, and guys come to you. It's inbound leads, like a business.
yeah, 100%. You know, they got flown out, Dubai, here, there. They have kids with these guys. These guys just don't give a shit. These guys don't give a shit.
And how does that relate to the male loneliness epidemic? Well, when there's that many options available for women, what happens to the common person? The guy that does not have anything to give.
He eats shit.
The guy doesn't have a jet or a yacht or a G-Wagon. You're going to eat shit. There's not enough supply within the market to feed you guys.
100%. And listen, we're not saying, oh, it's impossible for men these days. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I think if you're sharp and capable as a man, you can still have a decent life. You can go, like, there's nothing holding you back from not being a pussy, going cold approaching, talking to women, doing shit like this. But still, things are much harder than they were before, right? And a lot of men feel like, oh, I can't live my life. I can't have a girlfriend. I can't get a wife until I become this man. And the standards are so high. They feel like they need like a Lamborghini and a private jet, you know, to get a girl, which that shouldn't be the case. A normal man should be able to get a girl that respects him. And that's how it was back in the day. A normal man used to have their wife who respected him. Now, that doesn't exist. Even the people that are married in today's day and age, the wife does not respect him. We've seen this, right, Hike? We've seen that old son of a bitch, remember? I'm not going to say his name, but he was like a family acquaintance, and he was just completely cucked, been divorced multiple times. His previous wife's, you know, extracted all his resources. He didn't have shit for himself.
Absolutely.
And he was still by his new wife getting bossed around. He was getting bossed around. It was insane to an embarrassing extent. I felt embarrassed for the guy. And I don't know why he's taking it. I don't know why men have become this way, because men are the ones who allow this. You see, feminism wouldn't even exist without men, right? Who allows feminism to happen? Men. Why do you think in the caveman days, men were just on top of everything? And they still are. Listen, most jobs are done by men. Most jobs that matter are done by men, right?
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't see a woman building a road, do you?
Never seen it once.
Exactly.
You don't see women driving trucks, building the infrastructure of society.
Doesn't exist. And listen, that's not to say women are not important. I love women. I love the woman in my life. I love my mother. See, when you talk like this, people are going to automatically call you some sort of a misogynist. They're going to say, oh, you hate women. That's not what we're saying. We're saying men and women are different, and we're important in different areas of life, right? I think women are more nurturing. Don't you think so? Women can take care of kids. They can do we need women for the most important
what
things in
women
life.
do is create and raise the men and the women that will contribute to society.
Yeah, but they're not doing that anymore.
No, not so much. There's still a few examples of it. We're not going to generalize too much here, but for the most part, women have lost that role.
They've lost their minds. And men are still want this traditional thing, right? Like this cuck we're talking about, who got divorced a million times. And they're marrying, and they're basically being a floor mat to a woman that's not treating him like a man, that doesn't respect him. And this is where it gets fucked up. Like that girlfriend I had that sat on my lap in front of her dad, first time I met him. Same thing, no respect. This is where the problem is. And then there's a huge group of men, most men in the world, are becoming extreme simps. They're going on OF. They're paying these whores money. And where does that leave your average man that doesn't do that? He's fucked. Because there's nothing for him. This is the mind fuck of it all. But I think if men actually withdrew their attention, they didn't reward these disgusting behaviors towards these women in the modern day. And they weren't simping, giving them money for nothing, for just existing. They weren't commenting on their IG posts, liking them. This wouldn't happen. If they're actually shaming them more often, this wouldn't happen. But they don't care. So now women see this. They see all these simps, all these accounts, India, US, this, that, everyone. They see the comments on their IG posts and they feel like they're famous. They feel like they're, I don't know, Kanye. You know how Kanye could sell a show out, right? Because people like the guy, they like his music, so they pay tickets to see him. Yeah, there's a big difference between that and IG likes from your local whore. Don't we agree? So this local whore sees this. She thinks she's like Kanye. She's like, yeah, I could sell a show out. These guys care about me. No one cares about you. And this is how they have the inflated egos, and they don't even give the normal guy a chance. Every 5 out of 10 girl thinks she should be in Dubai, thinks she should be flown out.
If we analyze most simp behavior, right, it validates the point that the woman is interchangeable. She can be a fucking mid. The woman is always interchangeable as long as the simp has someone to simp for that's good enough for him.
100%.
And that proves that they don't really care about which woman it is. Any woman that will be willing to answer his text. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter how she looks. And that inflates their ego and makes them think they can sell out the Staples Center.
And let me tell you something, bro. I don't even, after saying all of this shit, I can't even blame the woman because the men enabled this. So fuck the male loneliness epidemic. I don't care about these lonely men. It doesn't matter because the majority of men are the people enabling this. I know so many people I follow, you know, acquaintances that I've known, you know, they're not even my friends. People older than me, people younger than me, people my age. And I'm talking like 50 years old, 60 years old, 30 years old, 20 years old. And sometimes I see, like it comes up on my Explore page that they liked a certain post and it's a thirst trap from some random girl. And they follow this girl. They're liking all her posts. They're commenting heart eyes. And I'm like, I didn't even know this guy does this. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you need to? Do you need to follow a girl that doesn't know you exist? She doesn't care about you. She'll probably laugh at you. She'll never give you a chance. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Never in my life have I ever followed some IG thought. Never.
100%.
You will never catch me following some IG thought and being some fan.
And all the beautiful girls I've been with, they tell me, they laugh at these people. They literally laugh at them. They've showed me. They're like, hey, look at this guy. You know? So if the men weren't doing this, the women wouldn't be doing this. So think about this. If you were a woman in today's day and age, let's say you grew up, you know, let's say you were kind of poor. What are you going to do? You don't have money. You don't have anything. And you see how easy it is. It's so easy for someone to say, oh, you need morals. But yeah, it's easy to say. But what if this girl has to work a shitty job, you know, and she doesn't want to anymore? And to be fair, a lot of men aren't men anymore. So she can count on a man to take care of her. Because I'd argue that 99% of people, 99% of men today aren't men. So is this woman going to sit down and wait for the right guy to come?
And life is hard. The economy's hard.
Life is hard. So what would you do as a woman? You know if you open an OF account.
I damn well might be a hoe too. I don't know. I wouldn't know, to be honest.
This is why I can't blame women. This is why I blame men. Because if men wouldn't give them attention so easily, the most valuable thing in the world is a male's attention. And men don't know that. I'm going to say it again. The most valuable thing in the world is the male's attention. When males put their attention to good things, what happens? The world is built. Like I said, roads are built. People go to fucking, you know what men did? They got on boats and conquered land. They did all this. That's what the male attention does. But you know what the male today does? They subscribe to a random whore on OF. They give all their money away. And that inflates these women's ego. So what are these women going to do? Exactly. Any woman with half a brain would do this. You think they care? Like they're either going to be a server or do that. Or not even that. They're just going to start posting provocative pictures on IG and they're going to get flown out. Any woman with a brain would do this, right? It's because they know what these men are going to do. So simple as that. If they knew that these men weren't going to reward them for this behavior, what do you think they would do? They'd sit at home. They'd be a good wife. They'd obey their man. So it's all the men's fault. I don't feel bad for these people. The male loneliness epidemic is just bullshit. People feel bad for men too often. I'm seeing these videos and people are talking about, oh, we have to ban OF. Oh, we have to ban porn. We have to do this. We have to do that. Why? Because men can't control themselves? That's why you have to ban it? How about control yourself?
It exists because there is simply a demand in the market. Someone is going to fill that demand and make a whole lot of money. If there was no demand for it, it wouldn't exist.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with nicotine pouches. That's like saying, oh, we have to ban nicotine pouches. No, there's a demand for it.
And to be quite frank, any problem that I have in my life, I always take the blame for it.
100%.
How is it that these men are not willing to take accountability for their stupid ape behavior, their ape actions? Like a primate wouldn't do this shit.
I don't know what forces a man to do this shit. And you know what? I don't feel bad for him. Get fucked. If you're a man and you're doing this shit, you don't want to work on yourself. You don't want to go cold approach a girl at the mall and build a real relationship. And you want to get bossed around to the married ones, bossed around by some bimbo. And have no decency or self-respect for yourself to get out of that relationship. Be told what to do. And then, especially the ones that divorce. 3-4 times divorce, you still never learned your lesson. You deserve to get all your money and resources extracted from you because you are simply a dumbass. I don't feel bad. Fix your life. Go cold approach girls. Build real relationships. Instead, you know these married guys that say, oh, cheating is bad and this. Motherfucker, you're married. And when your wife goes to sleep, she doesn't even fuck you. You go on OF and you give a random 18-year-old girl a bunch of money. And these same men are going to say, oh, 18-year-old girl, that's inappropriate, even though it's a legal age. These same men that are saying, oh, cheating is bad. Oh, going out with a younger girl is bad. They go on OF. They're basically cheating because they can't cheat in real life, right? Funny how it works. And then they go pay money to an 18-year-old girl on OF.
You know,
all the things that they're against.
The funny thing is, right, that if they actually were capable of cheating and they cheated on their wife, then their wife would have more respect for them when they finally sleep with their wife.
It's funny, isn't it? Men have been psyoped, bro. They've just been psyoped. And the funny thing is, they never wake up. Maybe they wake up for a month, right? I remember there was this whole bullshit thing going on in 2022. Red pill, this, that. Every man I knew back in those days, bro, was like, oh my God, I'm seeing the world for what it is. And then a month passes by and they go back to their regular shit. And by the way, I completely disagree with a lot of red pill ideologies. A lot of them are true though, and they are real. But a lot of these red pill people, I completely don't like them. They're a bunch of weirdos. But, you know, there's truths to life that you can't ignore. Wouldn't you say so, Hag?
I would say you can find truth, a little bit of truth in every opinion. But for the most part, I think the red pill people are just absolute dorks. They talk about like getting yourself snipped so you can't have children and just fucking as many women as you can.
Oh my God, vasectomy.
Horrible.
Bro, you're going to get a vasectomy? Listen, bro, if you nut in her, you have a kid, just have the kid. Like, really, bro? Vasectomy? This is a psyop. This is like, a psyop. Sure. Especially women that tell you to get a vasectomy, bro.
Like, I can find some truths in the red pill ideology. Would I call myself red pill? Probably not.
Yeah. 100%. I agree.
I'm fucking Hague Prince.
I am red pilled in the way I think, but I'm not one of these red pill people. Which a lot of them, they're degenerate, let's be real. And one other thing, bro. Something comes to my mind that's very important. I see a lot of these videos, especially these days, of like old wise men. They actually have a lot of traction too. A lot of younger men listen to these people telling these young men what to do. Like these old wise men, you know, they're smoking pipes and cigars on videos. A lot of them I agree with too. They're very good people. They're not bad people. But they're giving advice to young men, and they have no business giving advice to these young men because they didn't live in today's day and age. They didn't live in the modern times. Like you're telling, if you're born in, you know, 1950, 1960 even, and you're telling men how to get a wife in 2026, I'm sorry to tell you, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Times are much different. Times are much different. It just doesn't make sense. IG wasn't out back then. The internet wasn't out back then. Bro, I've met girls from villages that no one knows. Villages. We've been around, right? We live in Eastern Europe right now. We've traveled a lot. And villages that no one would know, right? Like she'll get a DM from some rich multi-billionaire from Beverly Hills to get flown out. Some girl from a village that managed to get attention on the internet on IG from posting pictures of her in a bikini. What do you think would have happened in 1950, This village girl, this beautiful village girl. I'll give them that. A lot of them are beautiful. What do you think she would do? You think she has access to that? So what is she doing to the men in her village? Like, and you as an old man are going to come give advice to men in today's day and age about how to marry a girl, how to wife up a girl? Like, there's no more decency in today's day and age. You can't operate like how you would back then. Now, this is just the truth. This isn't me being hateful. This isn't me being unreasonable. This is just the truth. Do I want it to be this way? No, but it is what it is. So you got to look at your playing field as a man and see what you have. You see, it would be very, very cool to say, yeah, the nuclear family and all this shit, you know. Luckily, I was raised by two wonderful parents. They're still together. I didn't see any bullshit divorce happen. And my mom stuck by my dad's side through thick and thin. And I know what true love is. And I've seen it. And even me, someone who grew up in a wonderful family like that. My grandmother and my grandfather were together till the end. Until my grandfather couldn't walk anymore, right? For years. And my grandmother would just push him around all day. That's true love. And this is coming from someone who's seen that. I'm not some person raised in a single parent household that's some degenerate guy. But even someone like me who has seen this can recognize the playing field in today's day and age. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So you're not going to convince me to go wife up a whore, you know, who's had 30, 40 bodies, that's been around the world, and call that a wife and have kids with her. I'm just not going to do it. Simple as that. Simple as that. And also the legal system is against men too, right?
It is.
So if something happens, the girl, listen, even if you find a very good girl, I just don't think it's worth marrying, right? You have your kids, you live like that.
What does my relationship with a woman
Have to do with the government.
have to do with the government? Why are we doing a business contract?
You see,
Why are we negotiating terms and what happens to money in this relationship?
if it was fair, let it be fair. I get it. The girl is giving up her youth. She's carrying your kids. If it was fair, but even in that way, it's not fair. If she just decides, right? Let's say you married her at 20 years old and she's 25, you know, she has her kids and she has a bunch of whore friends and she's going on the internet seeing all this shit. And she thinks she could do better in her mind, even though she's not going to go be in a relationship. Let's say she'll go get flown out by some guy, get fucked. And she thinks she has a chance with this guy. Boom. And it doesn't happen, right? Because most of these girls that are getting flown out, right? They want relationships with these men, but all they're doing is getting pumped and dumped. Who's to say that she won't just change? See, this is what happens in relationships. Most people marry thinking, oh, you know, I have a good girl. Yeah, you do. But people change, right? We're in weird times. Like, they'll see this shit and they'll get FOMO and they'll randomly lose their minds. They'll have a baby, 2 kids with you, and they'll say, hey, fuck it, divorce, this, that. And then what? The government takes her side. You lose everything. For what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Everything is against men. And this is what's causing the male loneliness epidemic. All this shit. Men have just tapped out. They're saying, fuck this shit, you know? And yeah, it is, in the end of the day, the men's fault, though. The majority of men are the ones enabling this. So the other men that aren't enabling it, the good men, are eating shit for it as well. And all I got to say is just know the world you're in, see what's going on, stop listening to everyone, and do what's best for you as a man, right? You don't have to listen to these people saying you're a bad person for not wanting to marry, for not wanting to, you know, be in a contract with the government over who you're fucking, basically, over who you had kids with. Just stand firm on your beliefs. Things aren't traditional anymore. Even if you are a traditional man, being traditional right now will only hurt you. You know, all these Christian guys talk about, oh no, but you're wrong. You let the world change you. You are not going to change the world in the end of the day, right? So you have to operate with what you're given in the end of the day. These church guys going out and marrying these church girls don't even know. Like, they're, just because a girl goes to church, you think she's good. Like, man, people are so lost. There's really no conclusion to this video in the end of the day. All I can say is, listen, it is what it is. You have to be an above average man in today's day and age. So don't just complain about it. See what you have. Yes, it's harder. It's harder to find good girls. It's harder to even get girls, even that are whores, right? See it and do whatever you can do to win in life, right? Just be better, you know? Average doesn't cut it anymore. Understand that and just be better. That's all I have to say. it is what it is. This is what we're given, and we have to do what we can with it.